Hello, I'm Pat from Prepperly.com, and today we're in my kitchen and we're learning how to brew kombucha tea. And if you've ever purchased bottled tea, you know that it isn't nearly as good as the stuff you make yourself in your kitchen. The cost of bottled tea is very expensive. When you're making it yourself, the cost is 5 tea bags. You can mix and match them. I have some orange here, so you can mix and match. I've used green tea, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ends off, tie a little knot in the string so they're easier to collect when they're finished. I'm going to take these, my water has been boiling, 1 gallon of water, and I'm going to take it and put it in my pot, and I'm going to let these steep for approximately 20 minutes. Now if you're going to work and you happen to leave it all day, that's not a big deal. It's very forgiving, so it's not a problem. So we're going to come back here in about 20 minutes. Thanks. Alright, we're back. What we did is we allowed the tea to steep for 20 minutes at least, or you can leave it. You can leave it for a couple of hours or all day if necessary. I took the tea bags out, threw it in my compost heap, and now I let it cool down to room temperature. And so what I'm going to do now is put 1.5 cups of sugar in. 1.5 cups of sugar, and stir it. Bear in mind that when you do drink kombucha tea, you're not getting all this sugar because the yeast actually eats the sugar. So I'm going to stir this and I'm going to get ready to put it in my jar. When you use a jar, please make sure to use only ceramic or glass. You cannot use plastic because it will pick up the flavor of the plastic. So now that this is dissolved, I'm going to take it and put it in this jar. See if I can pour it without making a mess. There we go. This is room temperature tea. Okay, what I have here is a SCOBY mushroom, and SCOBY stands for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. And actually what's in it is lichens, bacteria, and yeast. And it has such a variety of different nutrients and other health promoting substances in it. It's amazing. So this is, you can actually take a little water and clean it off if you need, because it was in the last batch of tea that I made. So rinse it off under the faucet or right here in a little bowl of water. Take it and put it right back in your jar. And then what I'm going to do is, this is from my last batch of tea, so I'm going to take a little bit from my last batch of tea and add it to it. 10%, maybe not even that. What I've done is, I've covered this up, and it's going to sit underneath my cupboard for 10 to 14 days. You can take it out as early as 7 days. That shouldn't be a problem. It's not quite as fermented, and that's what's happening underneath the counter. It's fermenting with the mother inside of it. And I wanted to remind you that I used green tea in mine. Black tea makes my stomach hurt, as does coffee. And just a note to remind you that if you're a tea drinker, which I am, oftentimes if you have after supper time any type of ice cream, the oxalate in the tea and the calcium in the ice cream will cause urinary tract infections, or it can also cause oxalate stones. So just to remind you, that's what black tea can do. Black tea has an oxalate in it. So what I'm going to do now is set that aside under my cabinet, and I want to show you, this is my last batch. And I want to show you what the mother looks like. So here we go. And we have a baby in this one. So here's the baby. And I'm going to put that in the water. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have an extra one in here. There it is. There's the SCOBY mushroom, and you can just put it in the water right there, and you can store it in the refrigerator and then use it for your next batch. That's not a problem. So right here is my last batch. I'm going to take these 3 jars, actually 4 because it's 4 quarts to a gallon, but I'm going to take 10% and save it in here for my next batch. So I like to use a little strainer. Is it essential? No, it isn't essential, but there's some little things floating in there. You may want to trap those. There we go. We're going to fill these jars up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up putting a metal lid, or you can also use a plastic lid. I just have an abundance of these metal canning lids and seals. So we're going to seal it up. put it fairly tight, set it in your cabinet. You could refrigerate it if you want to take cold kombucha out of the refrigerator, that's not a problem. But it will sit in the cabinet or in your pantry. Room temperature is just fine. When you open it up, you're going to hear psss. And when you open it up, you may also see another baby growing on the top. You may see some sediment in here. It's wonderful. It's so good, so healthy for you. Don't worry about it. It's terrific. So my recommendation is that you do your own research, and if you feel that kombucha tea is for you, give us an email and we'll help you find a place to get reliable mothers. This is Pat for Prepperly.com. Have a great day.